Hey guys, it's Kelly. I am back with another process video. I apologize that my channel was so quiet last week. I was on vacation and I had one video all ready to go up, and when I got to where we were staying, I realized that our Wi-Fi was not secure, and I just don't like doing much on unsecured Wi-Fi, so I just decided to wait until I got home, and then I'm going to try to make up for it this week and have 3, if not 4 videos up. So this paper that I'm using is from a Cocoa Daisy kit that I won in an Instagram hop, and if I have already said that, I am so sorry. This is only about the 10th time that I've done this voiceover. Computer issues. So I wanted to do a layout that was a little bit different for me. I love this paper from the kit. This is one of their exclusives, and I just really liked the triangles, and I felt like it was a very nautical theme, and pulled these pictures out from the beach from a couple of years ago with my nephew and my son. They were just playing in the sand and decided to bury my son. So I went ahead and trimmed these photos down to 4x4, and I wanted to just play around and see how I thought I would like, the layout. And I decided to go ahead and matte the photos in white, but instead of doing my normal thin matte around the entire picture, I decided to do it more of a Polaroid style for this layout. And I've had a little bit of a learning curve with this Cutterpillar, and I do recommend it. It's just taken me a while to figure out exactly where I need to put the pressure on the blade when I'm cutting. And if you have one and are struggling with it, if you put the pressure in the direction that you're taking the blade, so if you are going down, the pressure needs to be on the front. I think it helps those blades line up, and you get a crisp edge. And I think with what I was doing was just pushing straight down. So we'll go back to the layout. I'm going to just apologize now. These triangles are moving all around, and I can't figure out exactly how I want them. So I decide to just continue with what I think I might do, and that is to back the photos with this reddish orange piece of paper. And this was another exclusive in their kit. And the design has little airplanes on it, and this is not a flight or major travel page, but it's so small, and I cut the mat fairly tight that it just reads as a very subtle pattern, and so I had no problem putting it there. Plus the color was just perfect. I liked it against the craft, and I liked how it pulled that color out from the triangles. So here is where hindsight would have been just wonderful. I think that these triangles are just too big, and I will go ahead and later trim them down, but then I trimmed them just to single triangles. And if I had left the group of triangles to include 4 triangles as opposed to the 9 that it has now, I think I would have been able to make it work. But these triangles were too big, and then when I cut it, they're too small. And I was definitely not Goldilocks because I could not get them right. So when I get stuck on something, I keep on moving just so that I can keep going, because sometimes the layout fixes itself, or I'll get another idea. And I decided to matte the back of the photos in this blue basic gray paper, and I liked just the pop of the navy against the craft. Plus I felt like it just brought that photo mat to the next level. I really liked that pop of color. So here's when I am starting to cut out the individual triangles, and just to see if I can get this to work. And unfortunately it does not, but I am going to save them all, and I still have my big triangles because I'm going to challenge myself to get that onto a page in some fashion. So you can see that whenever I start tapping the desk, I'm thinking, and I decide that I'm going to keep going because I know that I'm not liking it, but like I mentioned earlier, if I can keep going and start adding things that I'm liking, a lot of times it will just fix itself. So I cut the tag out and decided to go ahead and put it back on the white cardstock, and I liked that, so I kept it. White cardstock is a bit like my security blanket, and I do a lot of my pages on white cardstock, and I'm really trying hard to branch out. I don't know how many of you guys are like that, but you know, I'll get fixated on something, so I'll have a period of where my layouts are on craft, or I'll have a period where my layouts are all on patterned paper backgrounds. And right now I'm in my white cardstock phase. So I decided that I like the triangles as corners, and decide to use the light blue, which is the back of the triangle paper, and just have it as layout corners to help frame the layout and make it not feel like it's floating off the page. So I pulled off these October afternoon label stickers, and I'm going to use those in both of the clusters. And I decided to cut the bottom off of that tag. I debated because I don't do a lot of travel layouts, and if I do, planes just usually aren't what I will use, but that circle could be covered with something else, and I really liked this diagonal stripe. Stripes and polka dots are some of my favorite papers to work with, so I am going to challenge myself to use that on something else. So I decide that I'm liking where this is going, and I'm going to go ahead and commit. And I just use my T-square ruler just to get this photo mat started. And then I feel like everything else I can line up fairly well just by eyeballing it. And I love the way that this is now going. It feels very familiar, and you know, sometimes it's just easier to go with what you know works than trying to do something out of the box. And you know, I find that my mood for the day, or the mood for when I'm creating, dictates whether or not I do something that I don't normally do, or that I'm going to just do something that is comfortable. I don't know if you guys are like that too, but scrapbooking is definitely my therapy. So I decided I wanted to pull out that bright yellow from the top cluster, and the tags on the pattern paper did not have anything that really was appropriate for this page. So I decided to just layer them and put some pop dots underneath the top one for a couple of reasons. First, I like the shadow that it gives, a different layered texture, you know, to the layout. But two, just to make sure that if I'm going to the work of, you know, cutting out that yellow, I want to make sure that you're going to be able to see it. So I decide that I'm going to go ahead and start with my title, and I am not the most creative when it comes to titles. So this is going to just be Let's Bury Patrick. And I had pulled some washi tape out from my stash just to see if I could use. I'm trying to do that more frequently because I have a lot of washi tape, and I I don't necessarily think always to grab it when I'm working with a kit. And I'm just trying to use some of my stash with the kit as well. So I also went and pulled out these blue October Afternoon sticky keys for the first part of the title, and liked that, pop of blue that it gave. And at this point, I'm thinking, what else am I going to do with it? It's starting to look more finished, and then I realize I want to stitch. And so I'm going to stitch the photo corners, and I'm also going to stitch the thickers. These are chipboard thickers, and they are notorious for not sticking. So I thought that it would be a really neat thing to stitch them in silver, since I wanted to do that for the photo corners as well. So I did pull out some enamel dots from my stash, and for me, that just usually finishes my layout. And the last thing I'm going to do is sprinkle some mist on, and that will do it for me. I do have some stills at the end and some close-ups where you can see the silver stitching. I just wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.